What's up, brothers? What's
Raider
good?
week, here we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Ray turds.
Ray
turds.
turds. Ray turds.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Well, you guys are going to be at the game. I won't be at the game, so you guys will have a great time being there in the somewhat black hole. See what happens there. So
That's right. That's right.
that's going to be a fun one.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is that this is apparently going to be the only home game for the Raiders the entire season, because last week against the Steelers, it was like 70% Steeler fans and 30% Raiders. Yeah. So
It was.
Yeah. Let's just keep that trend going. So we'll let them have one home game for the whole year.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, let's get into it. We got a bunch of slides. We got a bunch of stuff ready to go. Let's do it, guys.
Let's go.
I'm Derwin James. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Oh man, I actually hit the wrong button too. So that was exciting. Wow. All right.
That was good. Hey, that's the intro we like anyways.
That's the intro, baby. That's
all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are going to talk about Corey and everybody else, folks. It's going to be pretty interesting. Look, there's a lot to discuss, guys. So So Kyle and I are going to be there. We're trying to get the Bolt Sis to come out as well too. We'll see what happens. Go Chargers, go! And so it's going to be exciting. And Kyle, you want to talk about your new sunglasses?
Oh yeah. So check it out. So we got the new Bolt Bro Shades 2023s. Out here, so they're pretty solid. So check it out. We got Bolt on one side.
Oh, it's so sick.
And then Bros on the other. Yeah, and like in this time they actually do protect against the sun.
They actually do a job.
Yeah.
The other ones are just party sunglasses.
Yeah, the other ones are party shades. You go to the club with those things or whatever. You go indoors and stuff like that, But they still cool. They still cool and all. But these are cool. these are good for the game for show. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. Yeah. So Kyle and I are going to be there rocking them at Thunder Rally. So come up and say what's up to us. We'll be there for sure. I'll be wearing this hat exactly for sure. Maybe even this shirt. The shirt. So
hey, well, it's politics season too. So wait a minute, we're talking about the coach, though, right? Not.
Yeah, exactly correct. Exactly correct.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
so this is exciting, guys. So this is basically what everyone's picking right now for the game. Chargers should win. By the way, because of Corey Lindsley, guess what? We went down. It's only 4.5 points favored, not 5.5.
Oh my
God.
So I saw that today.
Yeah. That's crazy to hear. I mean, it dropped basically 1.5 points at that point, just since Corey Lindsley left. And we'll chat about it, guys. I know a lot of people in the chat are talking about Corey Lindsley and kind of what the idea of what we're going to do with that. So, or what the Chargers could do it. I'm not a part of the Chargers. We're just a podcast. So, but I feel like I'm a part of the team.
We're part of the Chargers. We're part of the Chargers. I believe that. In spirit.
Right.
Okay. So, James, you want to talk a little bit about Herbie here, boy? I know we talked about it quite a bit. And guys, throw your questions out as well, too, folks. So throw your questions out. We're going to get to them all, and just throw them out, and let's go from there.
Game plan for this game, and we go back to what Herbie's done, everything that we show here on the screen. I mean, and just what he did last week was just a master class on how to be a quarterback. I mean, they zero blitzed us pretty much the entire game, 41 out of 50 times pretty much. They played very much off coverage the entire game, and Herbie just basically went to town. I mean, and paid and basically destroyed them at that point, having an 85% completion percentage. Just kind of reminds me of that. I think it was the game with Phillip Rivers where he was like 28 of 29 or something like that in one game, and he just like dominated, just looked amazing. Justin Herbert, in my opinion, going into this game and talking about this Raider game, we're going to have to rely on Justin Herbert, in my opinion, to be able to have a game similar to this. We're going to need him to be able to ball out and do what he did last week and do it again this week, because there's a lot of things kind of going on with the injury reports and everything too. And, in my opinion, I don't know if we could really rely everything on the defense to really do their job. So at this point, the offense needs to be just absolutely stellar to be able to make us get this win all around. So
Yep. Yeah, and throw your questions out as well, guys. Just keep them coming. And by the way, I read an interesting statistic today. I think it was 212 pass attempts and no interceptions by Justin Herbert as well, something like that. Some Charger record he's already set.
Crazy.
So
yeah,
pretty amazing, folks. But yeah, let's talk about this guy right here. I would want to say the elephant in the room, but that's probably, he's big dude, so that's probably not the right, way to, maybe the elephant on the field. I don't know. Yeah, anyways, you get what I'm saying.
The 500-pound gorilla in the room.
Yeah, the 500-pound gorilla, but horrible situation with him, right?
Yeah.
He's got a heart problem. Guys, your heart's kind of important to live, right? Yeah. So, I mean, correct me, am I wrong on that? I mean, I'm not a doctor and all that, but it's woo. Sucks.
I don't know. Like, I haven't had a heart for years, so I don't know, man.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have a black heart. My heart is dead. I'm dead inside. That's what I am.
Yeah.
No, but it's huge. It's a heart issue, and I know Will Clapp will be stepping in. I'm going to say one thing about this, and then I'll pass to you, James and Kyle. The thing that I have really liked about Kellen Moore's offense, he's made it very simple for the offensive line to be successful. If you've noticed, one thing that I saw a lot, the protection is fairly similar over and over again, right? It's not like they're doing things like Lombardi kept things very confusing. There was a lot of movement. There was a lot of guard pulling. You'll see still a little bit of that, like GT counter and a few other little things, but they're pretty basic plays, right? They're not really confusing.
Yeah,
I think they're going to even simplify it even more this week with Will Clapp, because Will Clapp is going to be running the protection scheme, and you don't want Herbert getting hurt. That's my right. We don't want him getting hit. So I would assume with Corey Lindsley out, they're going to keep it real simple on that line. Lots of zone read runs, and that's kind of about it. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
And just to go to Corey Lindsley, we hope that everything's going to go fine here too. I mean, he's on he's basically on the IR right now. They're probably just assessing kind of where they're going to go with Corey Lindsley and where his trajectory of his career is going to be for the year, forever, at this point. Hopefully everything goes fine with him. But at this moment, it's going to be Will Clapp, at the center. But the whole thing I'm going to say is that, if you think about it, like Jordan McFadden did play a little bit in preseason at the center position.
Yep. He did.
He's it's funny. I went back and looked at his draft talk, and they were talking, and he played a lot more tackle at Clemson.
Correct.
But they never really put him in the inside. And so Chargers did kind of flex him into the center position in inside guard a little bit more. I mean, Jordan McFadden could be the guy that we could be even looking at if Will Clapp doesn't work out well. So just keep that in mind, guys. We'll see where Will Clapp does. Now, he's going to be next to some very, very good guards, by the way. Zion Johnson is doing phenomenal. Jamari Salyer is doing really good, too. We'll see where he goes now, where he's basically in the middle of a line that has, relatively done well so far this year. I mean, we could go out there and try to get a Ben Jones, who, is a free agent from the Titans. He's 34, though. That's kind of a tough age for a center guy.
Yeah.
But, what I'm basically going to say is that we'll see where it goes with Will Clapp. Now, game plan wise, in my opinion, we got to roll out Herbert out of the pocket. Attack sides where you feel comfortable with. Quick passes aren't a bad thing at all. I think the one beautiful thing about, our offensive play calling and to say, with Kellen Moore, I think he does a great job of knowing where to be able to hit and make the throws based upon what Herbert's reading on the defense. I get a little worried that Corey Lindsley's not being there because he is kind of the eyes to the ground. Now you got Will Clapp out there too. So it's really going to almost rely a little bit more on Justin Herbert being smarter about reading defenses, unless they're going to put Jamari Salyer, because I know Jamari kind of does some of the pace, pausing of when to snap the ball too. And I've kind of noticed that a little bit this year. So either which way, long-winded answer here.
Land your plane.
Land my plane. The thing about it is I think we just need to don't let Herbert sit in the pocket in this game. Do not let him sit in the pocket. Be quick and get the ball out of his hands quickly.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and bottom line, I am a little nervous about Will Clapp. Will Clapp struggled, but I think Will Clapp also struggled underneath Joe Lombardi's system for sure.
Different system.
His system was a very just oddly complicated for no reason, right? And I think that's why we struggled with him specifically. So we'll talk more about Will.
Yeah, I mean, and the truth is too is that Will Clapp was under Joe Lombardi's system for many years because he was a Saints player before he was a Charger. So, I mean, the bottom line is Samirtic just he got the exact thing. Just protect Herbert. Just just don't let someone get past you, and make it happen. That's the bottom line. Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
roll them out of the pocket. Roll them out of the pocket's a pretty way to do it. Way to be able to make an O-line look better too.
Yeah. Well, and again, the Raiders got some injuries as well too. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But my point is, I do think that and we're going to review the stats for the Chargers and also the Raiders. So guys, there's a lot more. And throw your questions out as well too, folks. This guy's coming back. We're going to see some Eric Kendricks and K9.
Yes.
69 dudes. That's what we're going to see on the linebacker fields, right?
I didn't even
remember that from Bill and Ted's? 69 dudes.
You dirty. You dirty.
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
Sebastian Joseph Day used to have his number as 69, but it's not that anymore.
Now it's 59.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's funny. I've been looking at the roster, just trying to decide. So how do we have him labeled McFadden? McFadden, I think, is still labeled as just he's actually labeled as just an offensive lineman. So I would think he probably would be the third center as it stands right now for this team, which I think is pretty cool. So, so if Will Clapp were to go down, we would see some McFadden. By the way, I'm excited about that dude. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. I finally saw him on the list. So, but anyways, I'm excited to see Kendricks out there. By the way, Kenneth Murray is still going to wear the green dot. Brandon Staley did talk about that. He's still wearing the green dot.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, that's interesting to see, and it's the one thing I'm going to say, like having Kendricks out there is going to be an interesting one to be able to see how it develops. I mean, and once again, Kendricks only really came into the system. He's only really played one game with the system. And Kenneth Murray has done a pretty solid job thus far.
Yep.
And let Kendricks be Kendricks, and don't let him get too complicated in this defense. And I think it's not a bad move at all. I did actually just look on ESPN for depth chart. They did put like Jordan McFadden at left guard. Now, once again, I think that's going to be kind of I would assume at this point, they've probably tried to put in McFadden a little bit more at center. To Zach Bailey. Yeah, that's a great one, Joker. I think Zach Bailey actually was a little bit more involved in the inside too. So,
right.
Correct.
We'll see where it goes. And Zach Bailey did a great job in preseason, by the way, too.
He looked great. Yeah. The one thing I will say just about this in general, and we could kind of move on from this topic, this team has a lot more depth than we've had in a very long time.
Yep.
We have had all these like holes and all these issues that you're just like, man, like, come on, man, and right now we're showing that we have a lot of depth across the board in this entire team, which I think is great. So, and look, you have to have that because people get injured and, man, like, are we made of glass? And I don't know what they feed in these Charger players here. Hamstring, no juice. I don't know what's going on, but anyways,
I think they're giving them ham and cheese, bro, because we got too many hammy issues going on here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like when you come out of the pool on a hot summer day and your mom just makes you a real quick ham and cheese sandwich on white bread, dude. That's what they feed these guys, Man, and it just hits right. It just hits right.
Yeah, it does. It does.
What? I think that's a critical fail there, man. It's got to be peanut butter and jelly out of the pool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and some milk. Yeah,
and some milk. He needs some milk.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, peanut butter and jealous. Okay, here we go. So then we got Derwin James. He's going to be out. Looks like this game for sure, which is sad.
Yeah.
Look, bottom line, I go back and forth on DJ. And guys in the chat, what do you guys think about this, man? I love DJ, but I kind of feel like he destroys the integrity of the offense at times. You got to remember, in Brandon Staley's too high safety, you got one guy running man, press man on one side, and then they're running quarters on the other side. Sometimes DJ moves around, and then he just, I don't know. I just kind of feel like he leaves that corner on an island sometimes, and they could get burned, right? So, I like him blitzing, but I think sometimes he, can ruin the integrity of Brandon Staley's defense sometimes. So
Sure.
I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? And in the chat, what do you guys think about that as well?
You know, like, I mean, we've kind of talked a little bit about this. It's weird, but you know, he is one of the top rated players in all the league and safety position.
Yeah.
But it's weird that sometimes we do better when he's not on the field.
Yeah.
And it's because, just like you said, it's like, you know, I think he has too many assignments and he's just running around doing too many different things, and that all these other people are thinking that he's going to cover this or that, but he's doing his own thing in a lot of ways. And so that's kind of the problem. It's like, you know, we needed him to have a structure and be like, no, you're over here, just cover that, you know? So that's kind of like where my head's at. And like, so I'm interested to see what happens with this game. But the problem is like, I know we have other issues with the safety situation right now that we're facing. So this is going to be an interesting game on our defensive side of the ball, especially against Davante Adams.
Yeah. Which is an interesting conversation for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about it is like, statistically, if you look at like Derwin James, like, I mean, last couple of years, I mean, he's had 115 tackles last year, 118 in 2021, 4 sacks in 2022, 2 sacks in 2021, 2 picks each of those years. I mean, as a guy, I mean, he's a top of the line like safety in the league, and he is a very versatile guy. And I get it where you know, Brandon Staley's hat. Let's make him versatile. Let him get up to the line and put out some added pressure and everything too. There's a lot of other stats that are out there that you have to look at with like quarterback pressures too, kind of what created that pressure, what came from that pressure.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of DJ, and also his last name is James, so it works out really well for me for jersey purposes. So so either which way, man, he's my man. But like, I get it. Like, sometimes it seems like the defense works better when we just don't have those guys moving around. And you know, with his hammy issue right now, I mean, at the end of the last game, I was like, he's not playing next week, because I mean, he was just wrapped that leg up with some ice. He was not, dude. No way he's coming in. Like, no way.
Those soft tissue issues, man, they take a while to recover.
Soft tissue issues. Soft tissue issues. Hey, that's a rhyme. That's a rhyme, dude. That's a rhyme.
That's it.
I like it. No, and again, it's really, I don't know. I get frustrated because I do feel like I'm trying to find this, guys. I apologize. I'm on Twitter. I'm trying to multitask a little bit here, guys. But I did see an interesting some reporter was talking about how they like the fact that we'll have probably, you know, a couple safeties back there. JT Woods is out, another one that's really frustrating as well. But you know, it's gonna be really interesting. But basically what they said was they want to keep Brandon Staley's defense as sound as possible. And they said, yeah, you know, I'm okay giving up some of the run plays, but just stop Davante Adams, right? That's the main concern, right? You do not want him to go deep, right? So keep the integrity of, you know, the top of the defense to make sure we're not getting that explosive play. Again, guys, we're number 2 in the league in explosive plays, but we're also number 1 in the league in giving up explosive plays.
Yep, exactly. I think it's like 11 over 25-yard plays in 3 games. Like,
that's crazy.
Yikes.
But we played the Dolphins. We played the Dolphins, right? So the Dolphins are pretty damn good, you know. And so it's you know, it's an interesting situation. So okay.
And I want to say in that same list, though, too, the Dolphins were like number 3 in explosive plays, giving up on their defense, too. So
correct.
It's not like it's, once again, some of these stats are kind of a little wonky on how the success of a team could be to a Dolphins that's 3-0 to a Chargers that's 1-2. So, but at the same side, for the gap for the Chargers, that would make a difference of having a middle of the line defense and possibly having a 3-0, you know, record at this point if they didn't give up as many large plays like that. So,
well, frustrating and again, it is. And so, and JC Jackson, I know he's had a lot of, you know, issues to say the least. He's going to play, right? I mean, I'm seeing everything that says he's going to play. And Brandon Staley said as much yesterday. He said, hey, he's going to play.
All right.
Whether he's a starter or not, who knows? You do have to kind of wonder what he's going to do with him specifically. But look, he's also not 100%. I think that's a question mark. We're going to review the injury report here a little bit later as well. I added the slide in. Also, again, throw your questions out, guys. We're going to get your questions also here after we go through our final slides here. I'll probably be done here in a few minutes. So But anyways, what do you guys want to say about JC? I'm really curious to see how he plays out. I don't know.
Is he going to have an ankle bracelet of the whole game? in violation of his parole and stuff like that, because I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I mean,
good point. Oh, yeah. Little anklet. Yeah, and you're right. We could easily be 3-0 at this point, guys. We really could. That's the NFL, though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm excited to see JC out there. I think he's hungry. I think Brandon Staley's defense, there's very specific rules and things you have to do. I kind of felt like Belichick kind of let him do whatever a little bit, and maybe that's kind of what he's doing. It just seemed like so many times he was trying to get picks and again, hurting the integrity of the defense. So, that's the question mark I have. And Brandon Staley answered 3 questions about JC Jackson yesterday. You go back and watch that. He basically said, well, why was he sitting? Well, it was explained to him why he sat. Didn't say why. Then the reporter asked him again. Well, he seemed confused that he was sitting at all.
Yeah.
Did you not communicate it correctly? He's like, well, I communicated exactly why he was sitting. If he didn't understand why, then that's him just not understanding what I told him and why he was sitting, right? So, like, okay, very interesting conversation there.
Yeah.
So
what?
Really weird, right? Okay.
Yeah, that is strange. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and if we as a fan base look at JC Jackson and kind of what he's done for us, it's not been pretty on field. Now, I'm going to say he's much closer than being healthy than what he's saying, in my opinion, because I mean, he did still get a pick, not smart running it out of the end zone, did basically have that penalty before the half for the Dolphins game. There's a little mental errors going on there. I think he's much closer to being that guy that we've all hoped he was to be.
I agree.
Mr. INT. I'm excited to be able to see what they do with him. I'll say last week, I did observe that Michael Davis was playing a little bit more press at the line and even bumping, Jetta basically at the line. And that's actually the play that Justin Jefferson ended up getting injured, is when Michael Davis actually pressed him and pushed him at the line to be able to get him injured. So I'm hoping, and I feel like I haven't seen Brandon Staley doing a lot of that, and I hope to see a lot more of that. And specifically this game, since we don't have the best of safeties going out there right now, probably Raheem Lane and possibly Alohi, who did practice on Friday.
Yeah, Alohi should.
We're going to need to be able to bump him as much as you possibly can. Make it harder on him. Don't
just
allow
give him a little cup slap as he comes by. Boom, boom, boom. right in the baby maker, right in the pills.
It's like Mac Jones. It's like Mac Jones to Sauce Gardner last week, hitting him in his junk, dude.
Shoot.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah, what was that about, dude? Dang, man, crazy.
So, okay, here's the injury report, folks. So, so I'm still curious about what happened to JT Woods. What happened to JT Woods? I didn't hear anything about that.
All of a sudden, he's just like, nope, he's out. Yeah. I'm trying to look at some stuff on that.
It's weird. And somebody in the comments said something like, "Oh wow, weird to be able to see somebody injured playing a high impact physical football game." Sure, I get it, but man, how in the world did it just seem like all these guys got injured out of nowhere? Like, I don't even know where Dean Leonard ended up getting injured. Or are we just being overly physical at practice? Which, I mean, obviously you should be, but man, that list got thick all of a sudden, dude.
It really did.
Thick. It's weird, I'm like, man. How the hell? Now, I still wonder if Jimmy G spot's going to play. I don't know. We could probably talk a little about that later. But again, Corey Lindsey's out. Dean Leonard, this one's kind of weird to me. Hamstring.
Okay.
That happened, dude.
Fernando from Let's Go Bolts or Compass on the Beat says that it's an illness for JT Woods. So he may have came down with COVID or something like that,
COVID.
So COVID.
Okay, so Gerald Everett's good. So Gerald Everett's good. So it looks to me like Corey Lindsey's obviously out. Doubtful Dean Leonard is kind of a bummer because Dean Leonard's a special teams guy. So I will say this. The one thing I will say also, we are probably going to have some call-ups. I've been trying to go on Twitter and see if I've seen whoever we're going to pull off of the practice squad. Nothing's been released yet. So if something comes out, guys, we'll do a video on it for sure to let you know who's going to be called up. I would assume some people from practice squad are being brought up for sure.
Got somebody.
Yeah, Marlowe is coming up for sure. I know Brandon Staley did talk about Marlowe. How am I drawing a blank on his name? I think he's still even listed as practice squad player right now.
Yep.
On the
he
is still listed. Dean Marlowe. Yep.
Yeah, Dean Marlowe should be coming up. And then I think they talked a little bit about AJ Finley too. I'm not 100% sure if he'll be up too or not, but it's going to get a little youthful in the back end of our defense. That's for dang sure. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
The other thing too is AJ Finley was actually released and then just re-signed back to the practice squad. So he was not picked up by anybody at this point. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Little Jimmy Garoppolo. I love that. Oh man. Jimmy G spot. I like that. Jimmy G spot's good too.
I like Jimmy Glass.
Jimmy Glass.
Jimmy Glassopolo.
Yeah.
Well, so okay, this is good. So again, guys, we're getting pretty close to our final. Okay, well, again, let's speak of the devil here. Jimmy G spot, Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy, as Kyle just said, Gallaspolo. I like that as well too. Look, at the end of the day, man, I think Tuli's going to be all over him like crazy, man. And I think again, you saw them talk quite a bit about Joey Bosa. I think Joey Bosa will probably still go. He'll probably do limited, camps. But apparently somebody stepped on his foot. Brandon Staley did talk about that as well. Somebody stepped on his foot at practice or something. So a toe issue. Man, come on, dude. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, so it's weird.
Just frustrating.
It's weird. But yeah, with Jimmy G, I mean, we'll see where he goes. I think it's going to be something potentially today, probably Sunday morning. We'll probably know where he's going to go. They've talked about Aiden O'Connell. They talked about Brian Hoyer being the guy. It's sad because in the chat, some people are saying like, I don't know, this could be a trap game. And me being a Charger fan, I should say us being Charger fans for decades, we've seen multiple games where we find ways to be able to play on their level and not play our game. Now, I'm going to say this, man. You can't have Brian Hoyer, a 15-year veteran, start balling out on you and just having a great field day on us. Now, I'll say this. I mean, I know we're going to talk about some stats. Raiders offense has been abysmal. 15 points a game is what they've been so far. Josh Jacobs has not been that guy since he's gotten back. He was out of training camp. He's going through training camp essentially now. There's a lot of things about this team that are just not clicking at all. And Devontae Adams is chirping a bit right now, being like, yo, I can't wait. I can't wait for this team to get better. Not as in I cannot wait being enthusiastic about it. It's more like I'm frustrated that this team is just not better. And so there's a lot with this team that are just, and even to say Chandler Jones in that situation, that's a whole nother situation going on there. The team is a mess. And, they've been a mess for 30 years, give or take,
30 years.
Right. So,
I am reading a interesting thing here. This is Raiders Jimmy Garoppolo TBD has a chance to clear, but he said 2 of 3 players would not make it back for week 4 in concussion protocol. That's what this guy is saying. Some sports therapist. So he gives a 3 out of 10 chance that G Spot's going to play. Wouldn't be surprised. What's the point of him playing? He didn't look good anyways. Why not mix it up anyhow, right? I mean,
homeboy got scorpioned in the pocket last week.
That was ugly.
That was ugly. I was like, yo, dude, that is not a good looking sack.
Yeah, and then this guy's questionable as well too. I think he's got a knee issue or something, right? Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, by the way, how bad is their rookie on the opposite side? That guy they picked up in what?
Tyree Wilson?
Yeah. Man, he is horrible, dude. He's had 1 pressure in 3 games.
Yeah.
Wow. He's horrible, dude. And Thule had I think 10 pressures in last week's game. And this guy doing horrible, dude. So it's clearly something's going on there, right? And so anyways, just a little side note, but this guy is probably the only guy that I'm really concerned with over there for the Raiders on the defensive side of the ball at all.
Max Crosby is one of those guys that is just an absolute got the juice, and he's got a high motor. I mean, he was a 4th round pick for the Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
And him and Nate Hobbs have pretty much been the only guys in the last 5 years that have actually seemed to really work out for the team.
Yeah.
I mean, and Hunter Renfrow, in my opinion, though, too, has been a guy, and they don't even use him at all. Which is
weird.
It's weird.
It's weird how they've I don't get it. I would probably put JC Jackson on Renfrow, but man, it's going to be really interesting to see. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how they play this out. Yeah. So that's an interesting one for sure. I can't remember the last slide here. I know there was one more. Oh, here we go. Let's just review the offense and defense real quick, and then we'll go to your guys' questions, guys. So, okay, folks, here's the offense. This is a nice little statistical breakdown of the Chargers and Raiders offensively, and then the next one will be the defense. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So, Chargers were 5th in the league, scoring 28 points. Raiders only scoring 15 points a game, guys.
Yeah.
That's bad, dude.
Yeah.
That is bad. I mean,
not good.
That is really bad, dude. Passing offense, 3rd. They're bad. Rushing, 13th or 32nd. By the way, Josh Jacobs is horrible. Dude, he's at what? 2.3 a carry, something like that right now?
Yeah. It's bad.
Well,
it's bad.
I'll say this, though.
Wow.
I mean, our rushing offense is a little deceiving because we just – obviously, this is only off of 4 games.
Correct.
Our first game, we got like over 200 yards.
Yeah.
Like this game, the last couple of games, we haven't really gotten too much. So, I mean, we're definitely not averaging 100 games rushing yards per game there. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then total offense, we're 2nd. They're 24th. 3rd down conversions, we're 15th. They're 17th. So we could be better at 3rd down. We didn't do too great. That's actually how Tennessee beat us.
Yes.
100%.
They made that an ugly game, and they took I don't know. It was definitely not a good situation, right? Red zone scoring 7th, which is good. So I think we're going to get better on that. I think, 14th sacks allowed. I'm curious about that number specifically because of Will Clapp. Will Clapp, that's a big conversation. It's a big conversation.
Right.
But turnovers were 1st. And they are 7th. Yeah. So they have 7 turnovers. And ours was just a fumble. And again, Herbert is protecting the ball really well. 213 pass attempts with no interceptions.
Right. Yeah. He's killing it right now. I mean, in that whole turnover thing, they are 31st in the league, basically. Well, it says 30th there, but 31st essentially is what they have them ranked on ESPN for turnovers. This Jimmy G was throwing picks, and that's going to kill him. Justin Herbert needs to have a primo game once again to be able to just let this offense click. Now, somebody else said, I think in there saying, hey, I'm not worried about the defense for the Chargers. I'm worried about the offense and the injuries. Obviously the Corey Lindsley thing is a big thing. The Mike Williams thing is a big thing. Now, the thing about it is Josh Palmer has looked great in camp, and I think he is
amazing.
He's got a lot of ability to click with Justin Herbert. Now, QJ is going to be involved in this. Parham looked good in the red zone with 2 touchdowns last week. Gerald Everett's another guy that's out there. So it's not like we don't have weapons. They got plenty of weapons to be able to work with on this one. So I think our offense is going to be clicking for sure. And I don't think they have very good defense, which is what we're looking at here.
Defense is definitely going to be the struggle here because, I feel like if the Raiders are going to have a bounce back kind of game, unfortunately, it might be here because of how much we have injuries on our defensive side and what we've been letting other teams do each game. So it's like this is where I'm a little nervous. So.
Yeah, so let's look at the defense real quick. Chargers were 28th in the league, giving up 29 points. Oof. But again, one of the things I said on my video on was it Thursday that we played some very prolific offenses. The Titans definitely not being one of them, but Vikings are good and the Dolphins are very good. You saw what they did to 70 points, folks. That was ridiculous. Yeah. So my point is they can score points, right? But the Raiders are giving up quite a few points. Their defense is not great. I suspect we'll probably score 30 points this game. That'd probably be about my prediction. Passing defense, again, we got gashed. We got gashed hard against Miami. What was that? 400 and almost 500 yards, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Well,
so
even to say against the Vikings, we have 475 yards we gave up on that one too.
Yep.
So it's
not good.
We just cannot figure out how to lock this defense down in some manner. And, this could be one of those games that we could either be playing against Brian Hoyer or we could be playing against Jimmy G. I mean, at this point, I don't think the Raiders are very high powered, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Big thing is try to stop the run. And, it's not like Josh Jacobs has been lighting up the world. and find a way to hold down Devontae Adams. I know a lot of fantasy world keeps putting Jacoby Myers as being a very good target to be able to play against the Chargers this game too. We'll see, man. Jacoby Myers sounds like a law firm, and I think is a law firm out in LA. So
it is a law firm in LA. I was actually just going to say that. I was like, oh, Jacoby Myers. Like, oh, man.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And, big stat that I'm going to point out specifically for the Raiders, they have 0 turnovers as a defense.
Yep.
So the way I feel this is like, there's a lot of guys out there that just don't, at this point, you should have at least a turnover after 3 games on your defense.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys are just kind of playing maybe a little bit like they don't understand their assignments, or they're just playing a little scared, or they're playing, I don't know, they're just not playing with the idea of trying to get some picks, try to be able to get, a fumble, try to get any of these type of things. I mean, we got 4 turnovers on our team so far, 9 sacks. Tooley's going to, I think, have a monster game, in my opinion, in this game.
Our red zone defense is really good too. I like that.
Red zone defense has been good. It's been good.
Yeah, we've been pretty good on third down. But total defense 31st. So we are not good in total defense. We're giving up a lot of yards, guys. That's a huge concern.
The big thing is that we just got to find a way to hold down the pass, like hold down the passing game. And, we can't keep giving up 475 yards a game. Like
POP holding it down.
Yeah, we cannot do that. Cannot do that.
So this is good. So let's go to your questions, guys. I know we've been talking quite a bit. We wanted to show all of this stuff. So again, throw your questions out as well. Are we signing another vet for center? Who knows? Again, we're gonna keep track of that heavily, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we go get somebody, maybe a practice squad guy, because you just never know how it goes. Typically you start seeing injuries go down, people start getting picked up. I mean, he's out for 4 weeks. You go on IR, you're out for 4 weeks.
Yep. You never know, man. I mean, you never know where it's going with the next guy. I mean, like I said, Ben Jones is the guy that I saw on the list of top, free agent centers. I mean, he could be one of those guys that could get picked up for maybe $1 million or $2 million or so. I don't know. I mean, we'll see it. But I'm going to say right now, the Chargers probably just want to bring up somebody, next man up kind of mentality.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. We're going to get Clapp in the middle. Oh man. This is a family show, GTR, man. What's up?
Come on, bro.
That's funny.
Oh no, and this is good. Yeah, I feel like Tua's gonna be a Raider killer. I tell you, this could be a big game. This could be a breakout game for the guy, because their offensive line is pretty bad. Clearly, they're not creating holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tooley's, man. I always say he's got the juice, and I just call him a menace from this point on. Like, the guy has this step move that he could just find a way to get in between tackles and in between guards. That, man, he just looks vicious. He almost reminds me of like a young Khalil Mack in a weird way. Like, just really, really just a go-getter. Like, love seeing it, man.
Yeah, everyone keeps saying in the comments, young Junior Seau.
Junior Seau, yes.
I can see it. Yeah.
He's only 20. Well, he's 21 now.
A version of him from the outside, not middle.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. With Big Five yesterday and my Chargers hat, and someone said, Raider Nation, baby. I looked at him and said, where are you guys moving to next? San Antonio? Solid.
He didn't say anything.
Talking about lockdown.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's sick. It is interesting to me how Raider fans always talk about their rings. We got 3 rings, yada yada.
Dude,
that's people living in the past, right? It doesn't matter. You need to be relevant now, and they haven't been relevant in forever, And look, anyways, they're just not a good team. We know that.
What I always say to them as a rebuttal, I'm saying, well, how old are you? Oh, I'm like 27 or whatever. Well, you didn't see any of those rings getting made. So you have not seen a Super Bowl win in your career or in your life of living here on this world. So you're living in the past that you have not even seen, dude. Like you haven't even seen a playoff win in your lifetime. How about that? Let's go that further.
I think they have, because they got to the Super Bowl in 2002. So but that was, he was 4 years old at that point. So
you probably didn't even know NFL at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dietz talks about Will Clapp. I think he has improved. If I remember correctly, I think he went to the same offensive lineman group as why do we keep forgetting the guy? He sounds
Don
like a boxer.
Slater, like
Mayweather.
Mayweather,
Mayweather. That's right. Yes.
Yep.
So I think he went to that same offensive line school in the offseason. Look, these guys, it takes a while for it to click, right? And again, the one thing I will say, again, we talked a little bit about this, is that they kept things very simple on the offensive line. And Kellen Moore talked about that a lot. He wanted to keep things very easy and very plug and play. People come in, you don't miss a beat. Yes, you would like Corey Lindsley to be out there, but it'll be interesting. And I think GTR, man, you might be correct. Slater was out. Yes, Slater was out. Week 2 when he blew out his arm, his bicep. Was it week 2 or week 3?
Shoot,
it was against the Jaguars, so it was week 3.
But
we
were at that game.
That was Slater that took over the left. I don't think he took over center or anything. I don't think he ever played in the left.
No. So he said when Corey went down last year, Clapp took over. Slater was out. Correct. Yes. And I believe he was. Yes.
Yep. He was.
Yeah. And again, you're right, Ryan, which I think could happen quite a bit more this game as well with the protection, keeping Herbert a little more mobile could work out well. So it could be interesting. And it does look like, I think Austin will be a game time decision. I would assume he probably won't go, but we'll see.
Seems like he's not going to be playing.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate, man, because this could be a great breakout game for him to really, show up and do well, because I love Joshua Kelly, but he's been struggling a little bit too much, so
he has.
Yeah.
And we got Aether's question here. Of all I've seen you ran your mouth about JJ3, and I told you about Alohi Gilman is a real deal. Why didn't you believe? I hope you have an explanation to do. I need my dinner. Well, then eat something, bro. Look, I still think JJ3 would have been a good pickup, right? I mean, he only signed for $1 million with the Rams. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, he's still a good veteran safety, but Alohi has played well. So I agree. He's played better than my expectations. So, I still think JJ3 would have been a good pickup as well. I mean, and now you're seeing all these injuries and safety roles. You got to remember too, my other concern on this too was Derwin James has always been hurt. He always gets hurt.
Yeah.
And so having another veteran there that you could bring in a situation like today is why I really wanted him. And, Gilman has been great, but he's hurt now too. Right. So, and the safety role is an extremely important role in Brandon Staley's defense. So a veteran safety for $1 million a year, which is what the Rams paid for him. I'd pay that all day and then some.
Right.
So
what's so wild about that though is JJ really hasn't had a whole heck of a lot of play time over there. And I looked at PFF, it was like he's really, really low ranked, like 30 or something was his ranking versus Alohi being in the 70s. And so I don't know if it's like JJ just kind of lost it. I don't think that's the case, or he just is not playing well at all, or what. But I mean, obviously Alohi at this point is outplaying him big time.
For sure.
Right.
Big
for
time.
sure.
Right.
And by the way, that one that he ripped the ball out of the running back's hand.
Oh, that
was awesome.
That was, and then it was called back. They said it was for progress or something like that. It was like absolutely ridiculous.
That's stupid. Yeah.
Total BS.
So Joker says that Zach Bailey can play center. I think you're right. I think it was Zach, and I think McFadden can as well too. The one thing that I have liked about the depth of this offensive line is all of our players on the O-line can play multiple positions, I think is pretty good.
Yep.
Indeed, this is a good point. I do wonder, he has become a little bit more of a pocket passer, but I think the good thing about that is when you start rolling, you could twist an ankle, you could slip. There's a lot of things that could happen. So staying in the pocket's good if you can, but it isn't a bad thing.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Thule was actually the starter over Bosa. In fact, I think he was the starter over the Bosa, if I remember correctly. Was it week 3? It might have been week 2 because of his hamstring injury with Joey Bosa.
Yep.
So he's getting more snaps than Bosa for sure. So I think Bosa only had a few snaps, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Situational pass rushing pretty much for Joey Bosa. And I kind of expect the same thing for him this game. I mean, once again, guys, like I'm a big fan of having Bosa, Mack, and Thule on the line at the same time. I mean, it's very difficult to find a way to stop them. I mean, what do I say? Thule, Bosa, and Mack create sacks, bro. Like that's like literally
bro.
So that's how it is, man. That's how it is. Like those three guys create sacks. Even to say Bash gets more involved in the pass rush at that point too.
Yeah, Morgan Fox.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah. So, and again, the offensive line is going to be huge. But again, the only guy that I'm really concerned with, and the only person that's even shown any pressure is Crosby. So I would suspect you'll put another, tight end over there, maybe put McKitty over on that side as well. I mean, you could literally put McKitty on that side and double him. I mean, to me, you could probably just double him and you'd be fine, right? And it wouldn't even be, you could just have McKitty over there, block for a second, and then just be the flat option, if things break down.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we put a lot more running back sets just as an extra blocker or chip somebody just to make sure if Will Clapp kind of gives up a pass rush, just give them that one extra guy to be able to just defend the rush coming up the gut. So,
yeah, and H4 somebody, I'm looking to sell DJ. Look, he's always hurt, and guys, this is a problem with aging players, right? Unfortunately, you get hurt, you get re-hurt, and you get more hurt. And this is why the draft is so important. This is why Thule's done such a great job, and we're so excited about him. Matlock's actually looked pretty good.
He's out there.
He's looking fine, right? So I do like the rotation they've done on the defensive line as well.
Right.
I think that's been a really good. In fact, I did say that was going to probably happen this year, and it's worked out fairly well.
And we don't even have Otito Obonya yet, too.
Yep.
And so
Tito's not back yet either.
Guy that could come back here soon, too.
Yeah.
This is a good point. I know I talked about this on my preview video on Thursday. We need to win by 2 touchdowns, 14 points. We need to show the league that we are legit, because if we keep them hanging around, it's not good for us, man. And it's a mental problem. Like, we need to put these babies to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing from those Rayturd fans at the stadium, dude. I want them shut up in the corner crying. That's all.
Yeah, they're gonna be passed out, sleeping by the halftime. That's what they need.
Oh yeah, that's how it always is for them. They're always passed out. Then they wake up in middle of the third, and then they try to fight somebody. Like that's how it always works. I did see a statistic that they're saying, like a ticket broker was saying that's about 65-35 right now for Chargers fans versus Raiders. Okay. So there's going to be a pretty fair amount of Raiders fans there. So
I believe it.
Yeah, they always show up. Yeah, and I'm looking at Twitter. I'm seeing a lot of people selling tickets. It is what it is. You can probably get tickets pretty cheap for this game, I would assume. Yeah. But you might have to sit next to some Rayturd fans, which would suck. So whatever. But anyways, and again, DJ. Again, we can talk about DJ all the time. And actually, Ryan says he doesn't. He degrades the integrity of Staley's defense. Hey, you never know, right? I think the only concern I have is that, again, you get in the box. That's one less person up top that can, eliminate that deep threat, right? So, and especially with a game like today, when really the only guy that's going to hurt you is Devontae Adams. And guess what? He's going to run straight go routes and post routes. 100%. That's all he's going to run. He's only going to run a couple things, so it's like, okay, we'll cover those, right? That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the thing about it is not having, and people seem to be kind of on board about getting rid of Derwin James. I mean, you could probably get a major haul from him if you decided to move him. But at the same side, do you feel better having Alohi back there with JT Woods and then, I don't know, AJ Finley or Dean Marlowe or whatnot in the back? Do you feel good about that? Like you're taking away from a guy who is a top of the line safety in the league and, getting rid of that piece on this defense. I mean, personally, in my opinion, no, I think Derwin James is an absolute professional. And I think he's one of my favorite players in the league. I mean, not just because his last name is James, but he's actually a really good player.
Personal foul hits, hitting people. I'm like, yo, what do you expect him to do anymore, dude? Come on, guys. I saw both those again. I'm like, dude, those were not personal fouls.
BS.
Yeah.
Come on.
I hated that. That's that's targeting from the refs. Yeah. Keeping an eye on them too close, Yeah.
Yeah. And Ryan, good point. Because I was pretty frustrated on the quarterback conversation, cornerback. I keep saying cornerback conversation, because they're rotating ASJ and Mike Davis and obviously even JC all over the place, right? Slot, blah blah blah. And, that should have been figured out in preseason, just as you're saying, Ryan. It's a little ridiculous that they were doing that. I don't understand why they did that. It was really frustrating. So, it seems like they've got a rotation now, but we'll go from there.
Yep.
Okay.
Hopefully so. Hopefully it actually works. Yeah. I mean, it's stupid that we're trying to figure that out during the season.
Yeah, I agree. So, okay, and I know there was another. Oh, here we go. This is the question. Okay, and Aether, I think you and I are exactly on the same page here. Defense, bracket Adams, slow down Jacobs. Offense, unleash my baby. Superstar quarterback early and often. Look, I agree. Adams is really the only guy that I worry about on that team. I don't feel like. I mean, you cover him, dude. You're fine, man. And I don't know. I just don't think that. I don't see him. Jacobs has looked bad. I mean, that offensive line has not looked good. So, for whatever reason, they're at 2.3 yards per rush attempt. It's pretty bad.
Not good. Well, even to say taking it further to their defense, I mean, really, it's like Max Crosby and Nate Hobbs, the only two dudes that I'd really be concerned about on that defense. I mean, they just really have not clicked on that side. Now, once again, you can look at our stats and our paper, and you can say the same thing about us too, with way too many superstars on our defense. But we just got to find a way to lock down Max Crosby and not allow him to get in. You remember Jerry Tillery will be in this game too, so speed bump will be there.
Yeah,
speed bump
left
back.
side. He's
that guy's
left
defensive
defensive tackle.
Yeah,
we need to just run straight up to him. Speed bump, we good.
Yeah,
my biggest question for this game though is like, okay, so who is their quarterback going to be? Is it going to be Jimmy Glassopolo, or is it going to be Brian Hoyer, like basically another version of Chase Daniels, or is it going to be their rookie quarterback? He might actually show some. I mean, a lot of Raiders fans are saying that their rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell is going to be the next Brock Purdy, which of course they're just talking up people, so you never know.
But I mean, the Niners fans say that Brock Purdy is. A lot of the Niners fans say Brock Purdy is the next Tom Brady. So it's like, guys, you guys got to stop that. But I mean, the Raiders fans are just trying to find any little glimmer of hope.
Right. Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Because I mean, look, it's hard to be a Chargers fan. Once again, it's not for the faint of heart by any means. It is not for the weak by any means to be a Chargers fan, but it is really hard for Raiders fans to even find any sort of level of success in the last 2 decades. Like, it's tough for them.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
This is a good question. This is a good question. Do you guys think Jalen Guyton can do some damage like he did in his rookie year? And then I do think he's supposed to come back after the bye. Again, he had 4 weeks where he had to sit out because he started the season on the IR. Probably same thing as Tito as well too. So we should get Tito and Guyton back after the bye week. Well, in theory, we should. I mean, it depends, right? We don't know how fast he'll be, how it really feels, but I think he'll be fine, right? The one thing I will say, I noticed a couple times, Darius Davis was running a very similar type of motion like the Dolphins were running a couple times, and he was open on 2 plays from last week where he was in motion and he just gunned it, just like Tyreek Hill did, and he was completely open on the side. Herbert needs to start distributing the ball a little bit better. He looked at Allen 20 times last week. Great. He balled out. They balled out. That's fine. Yeah. And again, he would blitz 85% of the time. So I think he went with who we knew was going to be open, and that's fine. Yep. But QJ was open. Darius Davis was open. There was a lot of players open. Palmer was open a ton, by the way, too, guys. But Herbert was just looking Allen open and throwing the ball. So, take that for what you will. I do think he'll distribute the ball a little better this week. So if you have Allen, I wouldn't expect the same amount of points you got from last week, and at least is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I can totally see that. The thing is, though, now you got to start distributing out further now without Williams too. I mean, you would assume that the Raiders would try to double team Allen because, I mean, obviously the Vikings basically were just like, we'll blitz them until we could try to get them to, throw a bad pass or whatever it is, or get sacked or whatever. Well, it didn't work. I mean, I think the jury is out now, and it is open and shut case at this point. Don't blitz Justin Herbert; he will burn you pretty much. So, I would assume
a lot.
Yeah, and I mean he's understanding what's in front of him, which is a good thing and a good sign to be able to say. Like, I think Kellen Moore's done a good job of like, hey, if you see this look, this is what you need to do. And
I'll show you the
he did a
play
good
that they
job.
did a few times. That was there, and they did a couple of iterations on this play, and I thought it was really good. It was awesome the way they did this because hold on. Let me just show you this. As far as the blitz is concerned, he audibled to this play a few times, right? So this is basically
Is this
birds
your
on a
notes?
fence. No, this isn't mine. I actually took this off Twitter.
Nice.
And but yeah, so they call that birds on a fence. So they're basically just at the first down marker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so they're just in a line, and then you got everyone just run forward. That's it, right?
Yep.
And then the running back's obviously in there to help, play. So Herbert can move it around. Okay, I'm going to move him to the right side if you see an extra man on the right, and then hope that the running back can block that. But the wide receiver moves forward, just basically runs a pick play in front of the free safety, and then and that was Allen. He would just run a little right into the flat, pretty easy. It's basically a run play. But they ran a couple of different variations of this that week, and that was all just built into the game plan, which I thought was awesome. Just goes to show you how smart Kellen Moore is.
Yep. Well, and you look at how it is. The Y man basically goes up and just blocks the free safety, kind of clears out the lane basically for the flat right then and there. And it's up to the linebackers at that point. So it's a wide receiver linebacker, situation at that point, unless that cornerback can't follow him. Generally, you're not going to be able to follow somebody very well when they could slant on the inside like that.
Right.
It's gonna be wild to see, man. I mean, I'm interested to see how that all pans out for this game. And I'm really, really interested to see how Quentin Johnston plays in this game. I mean, there was a lot of talk about him this week in camp, and the guy is a first round pick. He should be getting some looks. And, hypothetically, now you should probably see some good amount of looks from him in this game.
Right.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And so Aether says that he did not clear yesterday. Again, concussion protocol is very. Again, I had this conversation with a buddy of mine talking about Miami. He's a big Tua fan. He's like, "Oh, Tua's amazing. Tua's amazing." I said, "Dude, Tua's a glass cannon, man. I mean, he's had tons of concussions. Clearly the whole game plan is get the ball out. But again, the NFL, you're in concussion protocol. You're sitting. So I wouldn't be surprised. You're right, Aether. I think it might be Hoyer. It would be interesting to see how that plays out because what if Hoyer comes out and he's just horrible? And then do they bring out Aiden O'Connell? I would assume they would. And we maybe see him the second half of the game if Hoyer doesn't do well. I mean, I'm just very curious how that's going to play out, right? So, but yeah, again, guys in the chat, is he playing? As far as I could tell, everything I've seen even this morning, he's still a game time decision. So we'll see. Of course, they're probably saying that also because they don't want to let the Chargers know that it's going to be Hoyer or whatever. And, they don't want to tip anybody off,
Little sleight of hand here, magicians over here.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Robert, do you think Staley will last throughout the season? It's hard if they go 1-3 tomorrow. The Chargers historically never let a coach go until the end of the season anyways. And again, I think the wheels have to really fall off the track for that to happen. I think, personally, I think Staley's job is not really in jeopardy as people keep talking about, but I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
Historically, we haven't done it. I think it was like Al Saunders, I think, who was a coach for us. I think we let him go kind of in the late 90s, kind of mid-season. Yeah. But I mean, I think the Chargers like to be able to have their money being used and not have dead money sitting on the books for head coaches specifically. So I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I would say, once again, to Andrew's point, if this defense does not get any better and it becomes, Herbert has to figure out how to win games. Yeah. That's going to be kind of the dictating of I
agree.
We might have to make that move and just put Ainsley as the defensive coordinator and call it a day. Now you would have to put in Kellen Moore hypothetically as the head coach. I mean, first time head coach, we're right back in the same start where we went from at that point. So,
right.
Well, and you're right. I talked about this on my preview on Thursdays. I think the league has figured out the Vic Fangio cover 6 defense, right? I think they figured out how to defend it, right? I mean, Miami carved us up like a
straight up
Christmas goose. I mean, come on. And so, my point is I do think that Brandon Staley needs to adjust. He needs to do something different, and he's not, right? And that's on him. So if I think you said it perfectly, James. If his stubbornness, again, this is his 3rd year. If we are bottom 3 times in a row, something's got to change. Something's got to change.
Obviously, something is wrong here, and and to your point, Denver runs the same defense, right? And they picked them apart even worse than us. So they figured out something, and we need to see some adjustments. Bottom line.
Yep. Well, it's zone defense. Zones have holes, and they know it's pretty simple, right? Like the corner is usually on the guy, but he passes him off to the safety if he's running through. They know that happens at like 5 yards or whatever, right? So they know, okay, after 5 yards, that ball's going to be open, right? In theory, right? Because the corner's not going to follow him all the way up, right? So,
right.
Yeah, there's always holes, and that's what the Miami. By the way, I've been pretty fascinated with the Miami defense. Offense. I've been watching a lot of videos on them and how they're carving people up. Dude, McDaniel's a smart dude, man. McDaniel's a smart dude. He knows what he's doing. And Jim, I think you are crazy. I think Jimmy G is better than Carr. I think they both suck equally.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: Jimmy G was good because he had the Niners players around him. And Carr, I think Carr is better than Jimmy G because Carr did actually fairly well last year with this essentially same team, but Jimmy G's looking pretty bad with this team right now. So I would have to lean towards Carr, but I don't know. What you guys' thoughts on that?
Go Kyle.
I definitely think that Jimmy G is better than Derek Carr ever was. I mean, but you're right, though. I think Jimmy did have a better surrounding team around him a couple times.
Sure.
So that could be the difference. But I guess at the same side, we have seen Jimmy G just literally have multiple times to drive the ball down the field, and he wets the bed every single time.
Yeah.
So when the game is on the line, it's definitely not in his favor. So and of course, Derek Carr just hasn't had that opportunity, so we don't really know. So I guess for the fact that Jimmy G has had the opportunities and failed, that would make him in a lot of ways a better quarterback for me.
Yeah, his career record is much higher, but once again, he's a beneficiary of good defense. And to any quarterback out there with a good defense, I mean, you're going to thrive. I mean, go to Eli Manning. Was Eli Manning really a Hall of Fame quarterback, or was it just a beneficiary of a really good defense? And you got to look at those type of guys that when you have a full team that could really back the quarterback. I mean, even to say Brock Purdy right now with the Niners, solid defense. Is Brock Purdy really that good, or does he have a really good coach that kind of helps him out and a good running game around him? Who knows? I mean, because Jimmy G was there with Niners, and just good defense and good coaching kind of got him to that point. So
and a good OC, right? So he's keeping it pretty simple for him. And guys, just this guy Simi is probably not going to play. I mean, he's I think 5th on the list as far as wide receivers concerned. Yeah. So he'll be there. I think you won't see much of him until after the bye week, in my opinion. This is interesting. With Mac doing his best Invisible Man impression, Bosa nursing that injury, Chandler stuck straight jacket, and Crosby's knee acting up. Thule going to be far away the best player pass rusher. I agree. He's going to look pretty good out there today, or tomorrow, I should say.
Yeah. Chorizo con papas. I love it.
Oh, that sounds good. And again, I was actually thinking about doing a video on Thule next week as well, too, kind of highlighting some of the stats that he's done. So I might do that. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on Thule next. I mean, it's a bye week, right? So we got to find some content for you guys.
Yeah, figure out something to talk about. Yeah.
What are we going to talk about? We actually, and I would want to know just in the chat too, guys. I mean, we talked a little bit about possibly doing a live stream during, say, the Monday night game.
That's right.
Not Monday night game coming up, but the one following going into the week that we would be playing against the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are playing the Niners that Monday night. So that would actually be a really, really good game to be able to do a live stream, just chat with you guys for a bit. So I want to know if you guys would be interested on that. Just throw it out there. we'd love to be able to see if you guys would be interested in that.
Yeah, we're thinking Thursday night football, maybe Monday night football, kind of one of those things, right? So, yeah, obviously do a few things here. So,
yeah, put the Manning brothers to shame. We got the Bolt brothers up in the house. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, sign us up, ESPN2. Let's go.
Yeah, they a bunch of buses, dude.
No, we're gonna go to the Ocho.
Yeah,
Ocho.
That'd be great.
I actually, it's funny. People keep talking about that. I've heard people talk about JC Jackson being a safety. I like that idea, man. He'd just be a straight up ball hawk back there.
Yeah.
I've actually thought that would not be a bad idea because especially with these injuries, right? You can put him back there and just have him be that guy, right? The only concern though with that, in my opinion, is you got to be pretty physical at tackling, right? You've got to make sure you get up at the line and you're hitting some big players, right? You're going to be hitting some tight ends. You're going to hit some larger players. So I think that's where JC is a little bit lacking, in my opinion, in his tackling, but that's just kind of my take.
Yeah.
Okay. And we got some predictions here. Okay, here we go. So Aether, 6 sacks, 4 turnovers, 326 yards total out. Charge went 34-6. Woo! I'd call that a donkey punch right there, dude.
Love to see that.
Oh, that'd be great.
The Raiders fans are gonna be leaving at halftime, dude. They're gonna be like, "Hey, Holmes, let's go down to Thunder Alley. SA, let's go."
Yeah, they're gonna leave after the first quarter though. That'd be.
They're not welcome at Thunder Alley. FTR, baby.
Dude, I saw some tweet there. Somebody was tweeting at some Raider fan, "Hey, going to the game. I heard all the Raiders fans are going to hang out over at the Pink Lot." And I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go. Here we go."
I mean, the Pink Lot is pretty big, so just Thunder Alley's, so it's all right. People they do walk through the Thunder Alley area a lot too. So,
oh boy,
yeah.
I could hear all the dudes just going Raiders, and they're little, looking like Kale from Willow. Basically, General Kale.
Man, they're probably not that many. They ain't old as us, man. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm meaning like they got like bones on their face, and
got it.
Yeah, skeletons and
bones.
Stuff. Yeah, consult the bones.
Yeah, and by the way, Joker, that's a good point, right? When we ran that 4th down, like why didn't our quarterback is 6'6", 240?
All he needs to do is just fall down and just get 2 yards right there,
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't even. It was like a yard. It was a yard for that first.
Yeah.
Right?
I know, come on, but man. I'm just saying, all Justin Herbert needs to do is just fall down, and he can get 2 yards. No, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was also Herbert's call. He made a comment afterwards. He said, "Yeah, I handed the ball up the middle." I'm like, "Well, why didn't you just quarterback sneak the damn thing?"
Yeah,
I mean, come on,
right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's the tush push is what it's called.
Yeah,
and the tush push. And so, and Keenan Allen brought it up too. He said, "Why don't we just do the same thing the Eagles do? It works every single time." And then, the NFL and people are chatting about it. They're like, "Yeah, they should probably legalize that." I mean,
They should.
It's not something that really should be happening in the NFL. Like, it's a cheap play at this point.
The hamstring pandemic.
Yeah.
We got to wear masks here pretty soon, guys. That's horrible.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
well,
it's gonna be ugly, guys.
Wearing masks on our booties or something like that, for hamstring pandemic.
Yeah. And by the way, Darius. I think Darius is going to be running more motion routes. I do think that's going to happen a little more. I mean, even just to get the defense to respect that, no matter what, it's a clear on that side. They're going to go whoop. All right, then that side will be open. You can just roll somebody out. It's an easy 5 yards. I think that would be an easy first down play. Put him in motion. No matter what, that corner is going to follow him for sure. So we'll see. And again, I would like him to throw the ball to him as well, too. I mean, even if he's used as a decoy, which I really hope it doesn't go down that route. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm trying to think.
I think it would be really cool to be able to see Darius Davis do a punt return for a touchdown in this game. I mean, I would love to be able to see that. I think we have the ability to possibly do something like that this game. So let's see. Double D make it happen. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, and again, we also got to stop the critical plays, right? I mean, I think, again, Herbert, and by the way, just so you know, Herbert audibled out of a lot of running plays. I think he called, Kelmore said he called 23 running plays last week, and he audibled out of 9 of those running plays.
Wow.
So So that's something to think about.
Well, it's you think about do what works. Like if Justin Herbert's seeing like, hey man, they're playing cover 0 again, they're off by 10 yards from each defender. Take that 7 every single time. Like
100%.
Screw the run game at that point. Like, do what works to get the dub. That's all that matters. I mean, Herbert was on fire last week. On fire. Absolutely unstoppable.
Yep. And this is a good point, Kevin. Yeah, we are going to be finding out about our depth pieces for sure, right? I mean, unfortunately, with these injuries, we're going to have to – some of these folks are going to have to step in and figure some things out. I mean, it is frustrating that we're even dealing with this. And again, it kind of goes back to one of the faults that I do have with Brandon Staley. I think he likes veteran players, and I get that, right? He loves veteran players, and he keeps wanting them to come in, right? But and again, one of the other arguments, again, even with John Johnson, as I'm bringing up, is he's older, right? He's getting older, and injuries start piling up, and they can't make it happen. So look at Bosa, look at Mack, and obviously now look at Williams. Williams is out for the season. So,
and one thing that I thought about this game, if Deion Henley's going to be active for this game too, like what if we do a 3 linebacker set for once? Like just a straight up natural 4-3, and then put basically 3 linebackers in, put Deion Henley to be able to be another guy that could rush or basically just cover passes too.
Right.
Kind of be that guy. Like, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to be able to throw him out there. Now, once again, I mean, I'm not a coach. I don't see what's going on with Deion Henley, but I think Deion Henley's got that extra little wrinkle out of this defense to be able to bat passes down, be fast, be good against the pass, get a pick, kind of be that guy for us. So
yeah,
I think it'd be really cool to see it. Now, I mean, Staley did talk about Nick Niemann a lot too, and he was just kind of like, hey, like it's good to be able to see him and what he's been doing, which I think Nick Niemann has done a good job so far.
Right.
One of the nice things about having cheap veterans like that is you don't have to pay them a lot of money, right?
Yep.
So you can keep them there, and you can keep people on rookie contracts. Oh, we want to keep you, but we could re-sign you for a very cheap contract, right? And so that's kind of a nice thing. That's really that's what the Patriots do a lot as well too. So yeah,
right.
But again, not be as talented as we think. There could be some truth to that. I think they've been a little confused on some of the coverages for sure.
Yep. Hey, by the way, we got a little donation here from the Bolt Babes.
Well, Bolt Babes,
99. Let's go. Are you out of your mind?
Bolt Babes, let us know where you're going to be at, because Kyle and I are going to be there. So maybe throw our email out there, Kyle. And so have the Bolt Babes message us, and then we can connect with you. We want to make sure we connect with you guys there for sure. We will be there early. Bolt Babes, very exciting.
Let's go. Appreciate the
donation. Do a Jello shot together.
Appreciate the donation once again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hopefully you can link up with Andrew and Kyle out there.
Cool. Okay. Thank you very much. Very much. Interesting. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Yes. Thule video. Okay. So a Thule video, I wouldn't mind doing one. I think that would be kind of a fun little video to do next week. Yeah, and Kevin, this is really what he was brought in for, right? Is that J.C. Jackson was brought in to be the press man, and slow down the routes. Again, that's kind of what he does well, right? But I don't know. I kind of want to see him on Davante Adams. I'm kind of curious to see how he does against him, right? We'll see if that happens, but who knows? Who knows?
And the thing about it is, J.C. Jackson at this point is kind of possibly a shade of what he was. I'm actually going to pull up J.C. Jackson versus Davante Adams and just kind of look and see what his stats are. So Davante Adams has 7. Whoa, let's see here. Let's see if there's a. No, I'll keep an eye out on that. Actually, it doesn't look like that pulled up it. This is actually much more. That's like his career number.
Oh, and Robert, if you have an extra ticket, we can get our Bolt sis to come here. We have another sister that's showing up this week as well too. So she, she's pretty petite though. So I don't know how it would work out with the Raider fans around there. I might
I kind of
have to get wide. I might have to get wide.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Right.
But hit us up, Robert, for sure. Throw out that shoot us an email. We'd love to connect with you guys for sure. And again, Kyle and I for sure are going to be there. So please, we're going to be up and down Thunder Alley for sure. Let's taco about it. Best tacos around for sure.
It's so funny that the owner guy of Talk About It was telling me about how he was at the Jaguars game and how he ended up getting arrested at that game. He's like, I'd do it again. I don't care. I'll do it for the Chargers. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Dang, that's crazy.
And where did you hear that Keenan might not play? Imagine if
oh my
DQ and
gosh.
Palmer. No, I think Keenan will be fine.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think Keenan should play. I think he's just got a lot more soreness than anything. I mean, dude, he had a massive game, and he's just sore. I mean, he's 31 years old running around there, dude, looking like he's a 21-year-old throwing or catching passes, dude.
Yeah, and here you go. This is our email address, folks. Pretty simple. BoltBrosPodcast@gmail.com. Come hit us up. We're going to be there. Kyle, what time are we going to be there at Thunder Alley, you think?
Well, it's like 3 to 4 hours ahead of the game or something like that, right? It gets popping early. That's all I know.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get there early.
Yeah.
We'll get going. We'll get going. Yeah, again, at a maximum price, premium price is tough, right? I think that's where Bosa and Mac are starting to, getting expensive.
Yep.
And sadly, guys, this is probably Mike Williams' last snap as a Charger. Maybe even in the NFL, dude. I think he's 28, 29, something like that, right? So he's getting up there in age. He's made a lot of money. He made a lot of clams. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely, Bolt Babes, like I said, please reach out to us. Shoot us an email. We can give you our numbers. Let's link up for sure. And thank you for the donation once again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that donation. That's cool. That'll help us out. And truth is, we actually are planning to use a lot of these donations towards the channel itself. So we want to do stuff for giveaways and things like that. And we want to obviously create little merch like this. So anything to make our channel grow and to grow the community and stuff like that. So yeah,
sure.
That's what we're talking about doing.
And we are going to be selling those shades as well too. So let us know about that. The Pit Vipers, that'll be happening. We just got to put an order in.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, exactly. And Larry, yes, I am very nervous. I do not want to see us lose. This is the one game in the world I never want to see that we can't lose. We cannot lose. Oh my goodness.
No doubt.
These bacon wrap hot dogs, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but they're dangerous. I don't know. Okay, what's this here? Show my rankings? What's he talking about?
Oh, no.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
No. Yeah. I saw the message. He ranked all of us bros as far as who he likes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you I'm at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, you on the bottom, Brad.
That's okay. I'll take it.
Here,
what do I win? What do I win?
Yeah, you got it right here. Yeah.
I'm ranking the bowl. It's a quarterback. Wow. Okay.
Jeez. Wowzers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Aether spitting fire. What's up with that?
Dude.
Cool,
hey,
bro.
Maybe because he was saying hey, I'm going to be in Utah. You got to buy me a dinner, and then maybe you'll go up in rankings. If you actually do buy him a dinner.
That's right.
I got to pay for him? Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'll take the Bolt Babes out. We'll
there you go.
You're not invited. That's fine.
It's all good. Athir's a married man. Don't worry about that.
That's right. Yeah, congratulations on it as well too. Located in SoFi. The nachos look pretty good in there, man. I will say that.
They look better
pretty good.
Yeah,
but
I mean, maybe. I think they did update the menu a little bit this year, so I don't know. Yeah.
Second level's got a lot of good stuff. Usually hanging around there. That's where there's some better food for sure. Third level's got some good stuff. Yeah, but anything fourth and above, oof, not good. Hit the tailgate, guys. Do yourself a favor. Go to Let's Talk About It. There's plenty of food, plenty of drinks. Get to kick it with the Bolt Babes and the Bolt Bros. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to do the are we still doing the kettlebell challenge where we do the whole
Rivers Lake? Yeah,
Rivers Lake.
Yeah, he always does that. So in fact, I think actually we should walk down more Lightning Lane side this go round, because I do know that Thunder Alley side it does get full up of Raiders fans coming up and down, and it's like really a mess to kind of move. So if we move up and down like the Lightning Lane side, we could actually move a little bit easier.
Yeah. I like that idea. Well, maybe we should start with our final thoughts. I'll throw my final thoughts out here as well. This is a good thought, Larry. I'm right on the same page with you.
Yep.
Look, what I don't want to see is this. I don't want to see a shootout, right? I think we're going to score points. We're going to easily get 30 points. And Aether, I love this. This is great. I'd love to see Stick out there. Towards the end. Just put them babies to bed. Boop. Done. They're going to sleep. Give them some Dimetap. Shut them up. Anyways, like a baby. You get baby Dimetap, shuts them up, You get what I'm saying. My point is,
Hey, I did say I wanted to see a victory formation from the last game, and it did happen in the most Charger-esque way of making it happen, but
right?
It did happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But this is a statement game. Yeah. We need to sweep the Broncos and the Ray Turds. We need to sweep both of those. We need to go 4 for 0 against those idiots. And then as long as we at least split the Chiefs, that's going to be solid, right? So, but again, it starts this game. This game, we have to show them we mean business, and we got to make it happen. So, anyways, James, Kyle, that's my final thoughts.
Kyle, you want to give your thoughts, and then I'll wrap it up, and we could be out of here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been thinking about a little bit about this game. Is that I feel like we have to bring it together right now. Like I know we're beaten and we're battered right now, pretty bad, but we still got to make this win. And I honestly, if we lose this game, I think our whole season is probably going to be derailed because you look at how bad the Raiders have been played all season and stuff. It's just going to be awful. This because they're not playing very well at all. And if we lose to this game and somehow let them stay close like we have been doing constantly, it's not going to be good for us. And so this is a must win for the Chargers as well to go 2-2 into the bye week.
Yep.
And this is a clutch game, I know the Raiders are going to want it as well too, but we ain't going to give it to them. That's right. Nope. That's a dang show.
You better believe it. We're going to give him a donkey punch. We're going to give him a donkey punch.
That's right. Yep.
No doubt.
And so, but I guess that's the biggest question in my mind is okay, who's the starting quarterback for the Raiders? Is it going to be a Dusty Hoyer, or is it going to be, or is it going to be a noob like O'Connell or whatever out there? So
he looks like he owns a panel van, dude. That guy looks like he owns a panel van.
He does.
Looks
I was
like a
man,
total creep, dude. Like,
wow.
Up with this guy.
I think he's selling candy to kids over by like the middle schools and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Yeah, it can't be too sure, But
it's for real, dude. Like, man, he's got horses painted on the side of the van. He's a little stupid, dude. Oh man.
So, I mean, that's just my thoughts. It's like, I mean, it's a must-win game for us. We got to get this thing going. And I'm curious to see what their quarterback situation is going to be because our defense really needs all the help it can get. And that's what we need to figure out.
And Aether, you're right, man. I really hope our defense steps up. I just want us to just grind them into the turf. Yeah. I want to see some of those tattoos off of Crosby's arm, like ripped off or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez, all right.
He got busted up.
Mortal Kombat or something?
I don't know what I'm saying. Just whatever. Anyway, keep going.
Hey, I was going to say one thing too. Did you guys, because I'm wearing my hat that worked last week to get the dub. I'm wearing my jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So good vibes.
I'm going to wear I'm going to wear my Phillip Rivers one as well. So yeah.
Perfect. Good vibes are happening to SoFi then. So that's good. So it's working.
It's
working. I was going to say my last thoughts. I think this game is going to rely on Herbert and making long sustaining drives with Justin Herbert. Like we need to have a game where we're just going to pace this game out, have the ball I'm hoping for almost about 40 minutes in the game on our offense. Don't allow the Raiders to have the ball that often. And how that also works too is that if they do a lot of turnovers, I mean, those more turnovers allow us to be able to have the ball more often, allows us to continue to pace the game and run our game. That's the one thing I want to see in this game. I want to play our game. and I want us to have a control of the game throughout. So
yep.
I'm really, really looking forward to be able to see that, and Justin Herbert just having a pacing out this entire game with long drives and just tire them out. So that's where I'm hoping we could basically find a way to not allow them to score at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep them completely
off the field.
Off the field. Done.
Yep.
Yeah. And for sure. Not yet, my brother. Yeah, for sure. And Bolt Babes, definitely reach out to us for sure. You have our email address. Yes. Let's share some tacos. I'll probably have a pair of them sunglasses as well too. I'll probably wear one of the other ones, and then we'll go from there. But yes, please reach out to us for sure. We do this to meet you guys. Like, that's it. Like, we're not doing this. We're not making money really. We're putting it back in the channel and build merch, and we want to meet you folks. So that's the whole point of this.
No doubt.
Plus, we're real brothers, right? We want to talk, have a good time.
That's right.
Three amigos, three hombres.
The three hombres, right?
And
Jimmy gets sacked 4 times and goes out with a broken pinky finger.
Tres hermanos.
Yeah.
Tres hermanos.
Tres hermanos.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Oh, I like this. I like that. Putting grass in your pocket. Is that the wacky tobacco? The devil's lettuce? Is that kind of grass you're talking about, Ryan? That's cool. Either way, that's fine. That's fine.
There you go.
Devil's lettuce. Ain't nothing wrong with the devil's lettuce. Ain't nothing wrong with the devil's lettuce. Anyways. All right, guys, it's time to hit the button. But again, reach out to us, guys. I know Bolt Babes, obviously, and then who was it? Who said that they had an extra ticket? But reach out to us for either way. Reach out to us.
Yep.
You got that email address.
No doubt.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it, guys. Let's get out of here, man. Let's get this win. And always, once again, this channel is all about family, trust, and respect, even more so this week.
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
Even more this week.
Let's get it, guys. So let's head out of here. Have a good time at the game, guys. I'll be at home watching it, having a good time with it. So
Go.